Hello and welcome back to the Lore Raider. The Galactic Federation is a staple in the Metroid franchise, sometimes benevolent contractors that call for Samus's help to get the job done where no one else will, and at other times shady figures that seem to be working against Samus in the common good. What many Metroid fans might not think about is we know more about the Federation military structure than we do its bureaucracy. But that isn't to say we know nothing at all, and today we will explore. It may not surprise you to understand that the Galactic Federation is a federation. A federation is a collection of different states, or in Metroid's cases, different planets that come together to form a central government, but otherwise have a degree of autonomy. As opposed to, say, a republic or an empire where individual worlds have to answer directly to the centralized authority, in the Federation, individual member worlds were able to run themselves as they wished, even having their own presidents that largely didn't answer to the central government. So that raises the question, what did the centralized apparatus of the Federation even do? The Federation Council, which was located on the capital world of Daiban, was the governing body of the Federation and was responsible for passing government-wide laws and regulations. Despite initially being founded on the ideals of pacifism in space, it quickly became apparent to many in the Council that such things were an impossibility, with threats like the space pirates and the Kraken Empire all over the scene. As such, within the Council were several political factions that all vied for power. You had the likes of then Council member Keaton, who truly believed, for his time, in a true pacifist approach championed by the Chozo, and was completely unwilling to use violence of any sort. You had, on the other end, warhawks like then Chairman Vogel, who recognized that they lived in a dangerous period of galactic history and strongly voiced the need for a strong military response to the growing threat of the space pirates. And there is no doubt in my mind the same faction lightly backed the vote to exterminate the Metroids, as we see with the Federation Council in Metroid 2. Finally, you have factions like the Galactic Peace Alliance, who are sort of a middle ground, who advocated for a peace in space, but weren't afraid to hire contractors like our own Samus Aran to enforce that peace. Despite all this factionalism, it is worth remembering in the grand scheme of things, the Federation bureaucracy didn't hold much power. Sure, it was thanks to them that things like the Federation Police Force, and later military were formed, but as we learned in Metroid Other M and Fusion, it is very clear the Federation military holds more control. In Other M, we are introduced to a rogue element of the military known as the Ringleaders, who conduct illegal cloning and bioweapons research on their secret space station known as the Battleship. And at the end of the game, it is said the Ringleaders were exposed and the current Federation chairman, the nominal leader of the Federation, was going to look into them. And yet, as we all know, several years later, the Ringleaders are still in business as if nothing happened in Metroid Fusion, their operations having gone from the Battleship to the BSL station. This means that even the highest levels of government are powerless to really curtail the military. If I can say the Federation bureaucracy did anything right, it was providing its outlying regions, which are far too sparse for the military to secure, the means to defend itself. We see even on out-of-the-way space stations that the Federation police, which don't seem to be corrupt unlike the military, still keep law and order. Then, secondly, they made it legal an officially sanctioned Hunters Guild, the Space Hunters, which exist independent of the very corrupt military, which means local governments or even factions of the Council itself, like the aforementioned Galactic Peace Alliance, can hire out hunters to protect their local sectors. But that is what we know about the bureaucracy of the Federation. What do you think? Do you think the Federation is more competent than I let on? Or do you think it's too bloated for its own good? Well, you know how I leave you. Be safe, be wise, and please pray for a true peace in space.